dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.
And you're back on Liberty Nation Radio, heard coast to coast on the Radio America Network. I remain your host, Mark Angelides. We're continuing our wonderful, fascinating conversations today with Liberty Nation's correspondent and author, Michele White. Thanks for sticking around, Michele.
Thanks for having me.
So, Michele, you wrote a fascinating piece on the pages of libertynation.com talking about the Save America Act, which was once, when it was an unmarried piece of legislation, was just the Save Act.
Right.
Now, this has got a new lease of life and a lot of new attention. If you could just give us a brief synopsis of what the legislation is about.
Well, the legislation originally was about making sure that non-citizens don't vote in the election, which the Republicans are trying to push through. But it really didn't have that much traction until the last few weeks. Scott Presler has made it his mission to basically call Senator Thune every day, and he has since January 1st, to tell him to pass it. He's posting profusely on X. He's gathered a following, and it's kind of taken off from there. And then several Republican lawmakers are also putting their names on it. There's 48 co-sponsors. Senator Mike Lee is the sponsor. He's got 48 signatures with him now. My congressman, Chip Roy, is also, they released together the new version, which is the Save America Act, which came at President Trump's initiation to change the name from the Save Act to the Save America Act. And then they added the voter ID to it.
Yes. So just for those who aren't familiar, Scott Presler, he's been around for a good few years now, but he's an independent activist, I guess you'd call it, who works very much on boots on the ground, voter registration, and he gets a lot of credit, I think, for Donald Trump winning Pennsylvania in 2024, because really the amount of people he and his organization got signed up to support and speaking, I think. Right. I believe President Trump has acknowledged how invaluable his help was. So when he's pushing for something, he's a very effective person.
Yes.
And being so effective, people tend to listen a bit more. And so, yes, I think there will be some movement on the Save America Act. Let's dig into what it actually means. So the basic premise here is that it would be codified that identification must be shown to vote in, and now we're talking specifically federal elections here, rather than others, because obviously in some states and cities, non-citizens can vote in local elections and propositions and things. But here we're talking federal elections, so an ID would be required to vote in those, and assurances to eliminate the odds or chances or risk of non-citizens casting a vote. Now, that's obviously a twofold thing. One, it being that nobody wants illegal aliens to vote in an election.
Right.
Because especially, so actually follow me down the bunny trail here, if you will, Michele.
Happy to.
Let's say that there's a position on the political left that somebody who comes to America, illegally or legally, is just as American, right? It's, they're just as American as everybody else, whether they've been here a day or they've been here 20 years and set up a life and they've had children who go off to college, maybe have a business, own a home, but they're in essentially the same category as somebody who arrived yesterday and somebody who arrived 20 years ago. They're in the same category. Yeah. So that's the position. And then if the person who arrived 20 years ago has the opportunity to vote in an election, what's to stop the person who arrived a day ago? And let's put the cherry on this. What's to stop, I don't know, in a local election, a regional election, what's to stop, I don't know, some foreign government saying, right, we're going to send 50,000 people down there to register this month and then vote in that election to impact the outcome.
How do we know that's not already happening? We don't know that's not already happening.
The fact is, we do not know that this is not already happening. Excuse me for all the negative, double, triple negatives in there. But yes, we don't know that that's not already happening. And of course, history tells us that the movement, the inward movement of people, the migration of people into areas has been used to affect not only demographic change, but political change. And that's happened throughout history and throughout the world. And the idea that, well, we're in 2026 now, and I got it right that time. We're in 2026 now. This kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. It's almost laughable to think that is not in the back of some bad actor's mind to start doing that. So, yes, so it's to stop illegal migrants impacting a vote for which they have no right to vote in. Or to be part of that election, that specific federal election. And the second is essentially it's to cut back on cheating, right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's a third provision. The third provision is that it would clean up the voter rolls so that illegal voters already on the rolls would be purged from those lists. And with the backdrop of what's going on in Georgia right now, it's almost perfect PR for this, the Save America Act to pass. But whether or not it will is the bigger question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. By Georgia, you're referring to the
Fulton County,
Fulton County, getting all the records.
The FBI taking.
Yeah. And a range of agencies on the scene there, which, without getting too conspiratorial, that would involve foreign engagement for the people who are there to be there. So that's pretty fascinating. So there is going to be, let's be very clear about this Save America Act here. It's an uphill battle for the Republicans here, isn't it? Because they don't have a supermajority. It's not something that's going to be able to go through on a simple majority with, or even just with J.D. Vance, the tiebreaker.
Which is why Scott Presler is also pushing to nuke the filibuster so that they can pass with a simple majority. But as you know, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna also has some ideas up her sleeve to slow walk any votes or to block any votes on the floor. She said she has the Republicans to support her so that this shutdown would be prolonged.
Right, the shutdown. It's only a partial shutdown, of course.
Partial shutdown. Right.
I'm wondering if that's not tactically, if that's not a poor idea, because as far as I gather here, Democrats don't want DHS to receive the funding that it gets so it can continue to pay ICE and operate ICE. They don't want that to happen anyway. So if Representative Anna Paulina Luna blocks other stuff on this, well, they can say, well, it's keeping ICE shut down or it's keeping ICE unfunded. And so,
but it's also unfunded. It also affects TSA and FEMA. It's not just ICE.
Sure. Yeah. Although
they don't have to own that if they shut down the government twice in 4 months, and this is what I wrote in my article. If both times it will be over illegal aliens. First time it was illegal aliens getting health care. This time, indirectly, it will be because of illegal alien enforcement with ICE. But then indirectly with the Save America Act, if that tactic works, that would
it's not a good it's not a good long-term legacy look, is it?
No, it's not. It's not a good look, and it makes you wonder, why are you fighting so hard, willing to shut down the government for illegal aliens and benefits they're not entitled to?
Yeah, well, if people want illegal aliens to have benefits, well, then they need to pass laws for that, and they need to get everybody on side for that to vote for it. And of course, that presents it's all well and good for Congress to put laws together and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to provide this much funding to illegal aliens as they come in. We're going to provide these rights to illegal aliens as they come in. And that's what Congress is for. However, there's a cost to that, of course, isn't there? Because despite ICE being the tactics of ICE being quite unpopular. I believe it's 61% of Americans are against the tactics that ICE are using at the moment. And of course, that does come heat of the moment after 2 tragic deaths. That is a heat of the moment reaction. But the larger picture, there is a majority, not a small majority either, but a majority who support deporting all illegal aliens. So the principle is there, if not the methodology, in terms of support for President Trump on this, which brings us to where the math doesn't quite work. Lawmakers in Congress who want legislation to, for example, allow illegal immigrants healthcare benefits, voting rights, things like this. They have to face the voters at some point. And the voters, 54%, want all illegal aliens removed. How do you think they're going to react to? They want them removed, and then you've got the lawmaker that represents your constituency, your district, saying, rather than removing them, how about we let them vote and give them health care that you don't have?
Right.
Yeah, it's not a great. That's not going
to go over well.
No, it's not. Michele, I recommend everybody goes and reads your excellent piece over at the pages of libertynation.com. I want to thank you for being here. Take care.
Thanks for having me.
And that's all we have time for on this week's edition of Liberty Nation Radio, heard coast to coast on the Radio America Network. I've been your host, Mark Angelides. I'd like to thank our guests today, Andrew Moran and Michele White, and of course extend my thanks to you, the listeners, for taking the time to tune in each week. You are appreciated. Please remember, Liberty Nation does not endorse campaigns, candidates, or legislation, and this presentation is no endorsement.
We dismiss history at our peril.
Liberty Nation Radio with Mark Angelides.